If you're getting stuck on the word minimalist and not sure if it's really going to fit for you, minimalism doesn't mean less. It actually means you're going to have a lot more of what you actually want. And those things that are going to make your life more enjoyable, easier on a daily basis, and help you create a space that doesn't feel overwhelming anymore, but feels peaceful, calm, and beautiful. Today I'm going to share with you 13 things that I really like to have in my minimalist home and I would never want to live without. As I've gotten older, one of the most important things in my home is having functional and well-made furniture. I no longer go to the thrift store and just pick up anything that is cheap. I make sure that I have a list of the pieces that I'm really looking for, and I also do not compromise on quality. A lot of times I found when I would look in thrift stores, I would buy furniture that I just figured would be a project for me, that I could definitely fix this and it would work just as I need it to. But 9 times out of 10, that never happened. I didn't have time to actually do that project. And once I got into trying to paint it or sand it, I realized I didn't have the skill set and I just didn't feel like doing it. And so having functional furniture that is going to work for the task that you need it to will radically change the way you live in your home. I'm lucky enough where my husband has really endeavored to learn the skill of building furniture. And so several pieces in our home are made by him. But the pieces like a couch and chairs that we needed to buy, I knew what I was looking for and I didn't compromise until I found exactly what I wanted. I just want you to know that you are worth the time and you are worth the effort. And having a handful of really nice curated pieces has overall changed the feeling of my home, where it's not a overwhelming mess of things that don't match, but it's a few pieces that really go together. All right, this next one is my favorite, and that is bringing art and decor in with a purpose. For many years, I would just buy whatever I thought was kind of intriguing at the thrift store and bring it into my home and just throw it around. And now that I've tried to live a more minimalist life over the past 5 years, I realized how much I just didn't care about those things. And really, when it came down to it, decluttering them, it was no sweat off my back. It was so easy because I had no emotional attachment. I had no feeling in those pieces. So now the artwork and the decor that I do bring in my home is special. It's pictures that we want to look at every single day. It's artwork that my friend and family has made for us. And those things in my home carry a story. And so I always was very intrigued by people that you'd go in their home and you'd want to ask about all their artwork and you'd want to know about the pieces that they have hanging up. I wanted to have a home like that. But when you buy a bunch of cheap things and bring them into your home and they don't have any story based around them, there is nothing to tell. There is no exciting story that you can tell somebody when they walk in their home. And so focusing on a fewer amount can help you treat your home like it is the beautiful story that it is. Creating a home that has a minimalist and yet still warm environment is not something that comes naturally to me. And so there was a lot of trial and error. Recently, my family has been looking for a new speaker system that we could put in our den because that's really the area that we have game nights, we have karaoke nights, all sorts of fun. So we wanted something that was both visually very appealing, but also multifunctional. And that's where today's sponsor comes in, which is Morning Blues, the Gallery T2 speaker, which has been such a fun experience for myself and my family. First off, this speaker allows you to have synchronized lyrics, and that has been such a fun experience for us, and it really allows you to have more of an immersed experience with your music. You can also upload your own photos, make your own albums, even share them with other people. So it's so customizable. I really personally enjoyed this collage feature that they had where I could choose a ton of my own pictures and display them all at one time. I love that I can also be able to display 30-inch oil paintings. So I picked some of my favorite Van Gogh and Renoir, and I'm able to display them throughout the day, even when I'm not listening to music. As I said, they are really customizable. So you can add any of the paintings that you want to your favorites list and have them circulate throughout the day. It also has mirror display and anti-glare, which is really important for us downstairs. And so having the anti-glare just means that Unlike our TV, we're able to actually see and experience the Gallery 2 speaker a lot better. It also has 2K Ultra HD resolution, which basically just means that the visuals are going to be very crisp. And instead of what feels like looking at a screen, it feels like you're really looking at a picture. On top of that, it also has a meditation experience and a clock feature that has 6 customizable colors. And so it just makes the everyday function of being able to meditate, being able to listen to your music, and be able to enjoy that with friends just so much easier. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more, I'm going to have the link down in the description below if you are interested in trying this out too. For me, when I decided to have less bedding, I don't have extra pillows on my bed and I don't have a bunch of extra blankets that I'm not using on a daily basis. And so because of that, I have one bed sheet, and I know that doesn't work for everybody. That's totally fine. But even if you have two, if you have less, you can do the research and buy a higher quality item. And if you really think about it, in the long run, that product will last you several more years than buying the cheap. I invested my money in buying one nice quilted blanket that I knew would last me a long time. Something very important to me, because I live in a more minimalist home, is to have storage that is going to work. So it does take a little bit of effort when it comes to storage. It was hard for me to picture what I really could use in like my entryway and in my bedroom. But what I found is that when I drew it out and I put in plans and we did measurements, we were actually able to find really good storage that now we are very happy with. In my bedroom, we had bought a lot cheaper and flimsier containers for our clothing. And while we did have them for a couple of years, by the last couple of months, they just weren't functional. And so taking that information that I learned from that process moving forward, I'd use the baskets that now we have in our closet in our bedroom in my daughter's room. And so I already knew that they were nice quality. They had lasted a long time already in my daughter's room. And so I knew buying this product would work for what I needed, and they have. So buying organizational products that will work in your space may take a little bit of trial and error, but if you do measure out your space and you pay attention to what is already working in your home and envisioning it for a different space, it can really help you to not have to rebuy too often. So this next one I learned when I was in Copenhagen, and I love my people from Denmark. You guys were so friendly and nice. Lighting is very important. And what I found is that in Denmark, it does get really dark a lot quicker. And so they really valued smart lighting and beautiful lighting. I guess it would make your face look nicer is something that someone told me there. But I took that information home and I've added little things like this light that I have behind me. We have dimmers on all of our lights in our room so that we don't have to have the harsh, bright white lights if we don't want to. When we're having dinner, if you turn those dimmers down a little bit or have some candle light when you're having dinner, it makes the whole space feel more romantic and more of like an experience. All right, this next one's probably the hardest one for me, but 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I really started decluttering, I got rid of all of my fake plants because I realized I had no emotional value in them at all. But the other thing that brought on was then I bought a bunch of real plants and they were way past my threshold. So even recently, I've had to get rid of one of my bigger plants because I just found that I couldn't take care of it in the way that I thought it deserved. Being very meticulous about what plants you're bringing in and picking the ones that are easier for me has made a big difference. So I have a Pathos plant in here. I've had her for 8 to 10 years. She's my longest living plant. And the great thing about a Pathos plant is that you can water it and leave it and forget about her for a long time. You come back, she's half dead, and you take off the dead leaves and you water her a little bit. She comes right back alive. I also love this snake plant. My grandma calls it the mother-in-law tongue plant. But this plant is great because it's really good for your air quality. So if you take a little more time and you pick a few smart plants for yourself, things that you can feel confident you can take care of, it elevates the space. I really enjoy it, but also doesn't add too much extra stress to you. A great one to try if your living room or bedroom feel very overwhelming is it might be those extra tables you have in there. the side tables that are really big and cumbersome. I got rid of all the side tables in my living room, and now we only have a small coffee table and our behind the couch table. And really, that was because our living room is skinny and long, and so the coffee table was always just something for me to bang into and an extra flat surface for me to have to clean. I absolutely love not having any extra side tables. In our bedroom, my husband made our 2 side tables that we have. And the great thing about them is that they really call me out if I'm starting to keep too much stuff in my side table because they don't have a drawer. If you are somebody who keeps a ton of stuff in your side table, they won't work for you. But for me, I realized I really just needed my phone charger, my watch charger, a scrunchie, a chapstick, and maybe my book. And so having this clear open space and then nothing underneath it allows me to clean it a lot faster and remember to declutter it as I go. Recently, I've gotten a few new things into my kitchen because I've been trying to cook more. Bless my heart. I really like my cast iron pot that I got from my mom. It is so multifunctional and really easy to clean, which I was afraid of. We also have things like my air fryer, which we've had since last Christmas, and I really like it. I cook in it. It's so easy. It's much faster than anything that I can do on my own. And so finding those few pieces that work for what you need that are a little bit higher quality. I like to buy like nice wooden spoons or stainless steel. If you take care of them, they will be there for you forever. A great thing to add into your entryway is a functional coat rack. And I love the one that my husband made for us in the corner here. It's pretty easy to make, actually. He just cut some of the wood himself. The hooks are from Amazon and were really actually very cheap, but it works great. You need to find those places in your home that aren't working, and this was one of them. So having a functional coat rack allows me to immediately see my daughter's book bag and my purse when I walk out the door, and it helps me a lot to not forget those essential items like I was for so many years when I was putting them inside the closet. Anything that lays on the floor automatically looks more cluttered in that space. Anytime that you can get the things that you need off the floor, like your keys, like your mail, off of the flat surfaces, that area automatically will look a lot more neat. Okay, so this is one that I changed a few years ago and I'm never going back, and that is functional rugs that work for you. So in my home, we have some beautiful wooden floors, which actually they need to be refinished, but that's another day. But for years I was covering them with these massive rugs, and they weren't washable. They weren't easy to clean. I always had to move the furniture out of the way in order to get to them. It just became too much for me. And so slowly I got rid of more and more of the rugs in our house, and I love it. In our living room, we don't have any rugs. I do have a little bed that my dog sleeps on we keep near the couch so that it's easier for him to hop onto. We have a small rug by the back door that is washable. And we have a small rug right by our bed so the dogs can jump on the bed a little bit easier, but it's small. You can roll it up and just shake it outside or put it in the washing machine. But it's so simple. So if you are overwhelmed by the big rugs under your bed, in your dining room, in your living room, slowly get rid of one by one. Start with the one that's most annoying and see if that can work and function for you a little bit better. If you're like me, and for many years I was just struggling to get it all done, a great thing that you can add in to simplify your life is a vacuum that is high quality, works, and even better if it's automated. I absolutely love our vacuum that we have in our main living area. It just allows me to have one less thing off my plate, and it makes the space that we spend the most time in always look a little bit more put together and nice. The great thing about an automatic vacuum is that you can set it on your phone to go whenever, or you can just simply press the button and walk out the door, which is what I normally do. And what I have found is that overall, with the prices of vacuums, having an automated vacuum really isn't that much more than just having a regular vacuum. So between my favorite rigid vacuum, which is very lightweight, a handheld battery powered one, and the vacuum that we have automated that I can put on every floor whenever I want to, it simplifies and streamlines the cleaning process in our home. I think the only thing that I would really like to change about this is that I wish this particular vacuum that we had a mop feature, which I've seen on some other ones. And who knows, maybe one day I will upgrade to one of those. But I really enjoy having this vacuum to simplify this chore that very easily became overwhelming for me, especially having a daughter and 2 dogs. It really just all felt like too much when it came to vacuuming, and now it doesn't. I hope seeing these 13 things that I've shared that I really enjoyed this past year in 2024 show you that minimalism isn't less at all. If anything, it is being able to curate a few things that really help you to live a simpler and easier and more beautiful life. And if you want to continue your journey, then please watch one of the videos right here. And I wish you guys all the very best.